starters back, assuming nobody goes professionally early. Joe Crawford is next out of Detroit.
That would be a big assumption. I mean, in this day and age,
Yeah, you don't know.
And this is a guy that knows something about vertical jump. He'll be joining Tommy Smith.
That's a miss. He'll have one more attempt for his first dunk. Crawford is committed to Kentucky.
Check out the elevation. My goodness.
got to finish. Dollar jump, nickel finish.
He's 6'4".
He and his teammate Malik Harrison from Renaissance High in Detroit, the only teammates in this game.
That was pretty good as he's falling away. Wasn't as emphatic because he was coming down as he went through with the dunk, but the judges like it.
Joe told me he's 3-0 lifetime in dunk contests. He studies at the School of Michael Jordan videos.
Very nice. I like this, all the stats you're bringing up. I mean, how many guys where he grew up are able to compete with him in a dunk contest?
Not a lot. He won his neighborhood dunk contest.
I did too, only it was on a dunk hoop. You ever play? Well, you never had to play dunk ball.
Nerf hoop.
Second dunk for Crawford. Judges like it again. So do the fans. Crawford seems pretty happy. What do you guys think?
Well, I think it's a terrific dunk, and Crawford is a terrific athlete. This is what Kentucky needs. They've been so successful in the SEC, but they're lacking those great NBA-level players. They have 2 McDonald's All-Americans here today, and that will help them maybe get over the edge in the SEC and get over the edge in the NCAA tournament. Haven't been to the Final Four last bunch of years.
Ray John Rondo, the other Kentucky-bound player.
So the first round of the slam dunk contest is in the books. The top 4 advance to the finals. J.R. Smith and Joe Crawford tied for the lead. Darius Washington Jr. with 146 points. And Candace Parker is in 4th place. A couple of dunkers using the bounce in the opening round. J.R. Smith and Joe Crawford among the 4 advancing to the slam dunk final. Thursday night, a week of madness presented by Harley-Davidson continues with the NIT Championship game at 7 Eastern and the college slam dunk and three-point contest at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Welcome back. Carl Albert High School in Oklahoma. Dave Pash, Tim McCormick, and Doug Gottlieb. We're at the Powerade Jam Fest and the girls' three-point shooting contest. Standings look like this. Sade Wiley Gatewood is the leader.
Hey, guys, I'm convinced that high school girls are better three-point shooters than boys. They obviously work very hard at it, but I believe the set shots are a lot more consistent because there's less room for error because they're not jumping.
We'll just have to see. Statistical analysis will play out here.
Yeah, I kept stats on the first round, and they're just under 16 made for the group, and we'll measure that up against the boys a little bit later.
Thomas, 5'9", from Cincinnati, Ohio. Mount Notre Dame High School, averaged 20 points, 5.5 assists. She's a point guard, but can play the 2.
Going to UConn, Gino Oriema will find a way to get that beautiful shot into his rotation. Had a game last year, 42 points.
She's got great backspin on her shot. She's going to UConn, and that is the pinnacle, along with Tennessee, of women's basketball in this country. And like you said about the boys, the rich continue to get richer with players like Mel Thompson.
I think she may fit in that Jen Rosati role back in the day when they won the championship with Rebecca Lobo.
Very nice Jen Rosati reference.
16 points for Thomas as she closes things out by hitting the money ball. Nicely done by Thomas. And now Marcella Packer will go next. And Packer does something that Tim McCormick used to do before every game. It's a superstition. She shaves her legs.
Don't let that out over the air. Come on, Dave. I think she's going to have an outstanding career for Coach Foster at Ohio State.
The Ohio State University.
She'll take over at the shooting guard spot. Katie Motter, who is the top three-point shooter in Ohio State history.
Big shoes to fill. You know, what's interesting is that Ohio State got a chance to host a women's regional this year, yet they couldn't play in the Schottenstein Center. They couldn't play downtown where the Blue Jackets play.
That would be unfair.
Well, no, they couldn't play downtown because the men's regional was there. And in the Schottenstein Center, the Ohio State High School State Championship was there. It was the girls' state championship, so they were forced to play in Old St. John Arena.
One of the greatest old arenas. Packer here has been in 4 3-point contests in her life. And listen to this, guys. She's 4-0, possibly on her way to a 5-0 undefeated record. I can see why.
Well, she's 3 back right now, Thomas.
See, if you're going to make a prediction, do so before she shoots it.
As opposed to when she's got 2 seconds left,
right.
She's clearly trailing.
Yes.
And here is the first-round leader, Sade Wiley-Gatewood, who's off to Tennessee, one of 5 players in the McDonald's All-America game on the ladies' side that will play for Lady Vols next year.
As you watch her technique, the thing to focus on, the big challenge for these players is the way they release the ball, and they have to look down and grab the next ball for their shot. They never actually see their shot go in. Doug, did you ever do a 3-point contest?
No, they never asked me. You had to go there, didn't you?
You were the guy. They let you hold the racket.
They let me pass to people so they could shoot the 3-point shots. Did you ever do a slam dunk contest?
I did.
Did you win?
Let's just say my dunk went in. Sade, 3 times the LA Times Player of the Year. That's pretty impressive.
Wants to be a broadcaster.
I hope she's a play-by-play announcer.
Why's that?
Got to keep our job safe.
You're saying mine's in jeopardy?
What a great release on her shot. You can tell that she's a worker.
Here's for the win. There it is!
Wow, very impressive.
West Coast 1, East Coast nothing.
Sade Wiley-Gatewood, the winner of the 2004 girls 3-point competition.
She got hot in the first round, and that's what carried her on to that big finish with 18. And
the only thing missing was the way that Larry Bird held up the #1 sign after he made his. She got very hot and deserves her championship.
Sade Wiley-Gatewood, who's off to Tennessee in the fall, the winner of the girls 3-point shooting contest with 18 points. Mel Thomas comes in second, Marcella Packer in third. Let's check in now with Mike Gleason, who's standing by with Big Country and Little Country.
That's right, Dave. A couple of former Cowboy stars, and stars might be an understatement. First, let's talk with Brian Big Country Reeves, the Cowboys in the Final Four. What's your take coming up this weekend?
Well, you know, I like our shots at it. I've liked our shots all year. We're a very athletic team. You know, anything can happen once you get there. You just got to get there to get that chance.
What about some of these young studs here with Duncan the basketball?
You know, we're going to hand out some teams maybe the second half or second round, but it's kind of tough sitting over there.
It doesn't remind you of you when you shattered the backboard in Seattle during the practice, does it?
Well, no, not here. You know, these guys ain't got that much power yet.
What's it take to get a 10 out of you as a judge?
Well, it's going to take something special. You know, I've seen all these already, so let's see how creative they can get.
Okay, on my right now, Barry Sanders, the Maxwell winner, the Heisman winner. He rushed for over 15,000 yards with the Detroit Lions. And Barry, your take on the Final Four this weekend?
You know what? OSU's looking good. Obviously, 4 great teams in there, and you know they survived the Big 12, and so I think they're ready for anything.
Now, just in case Steve Mariucci's listening, any chance you're going to come back and play one more time?
No, I don't think so. Thanks for asking, though.
Now, I talked about the fact that you won the Maxwell and the Heisman. You rushed for over 15,000 yards. I understand you had some great hops on the basketball floor, though.
A little bit. You know, I took part in a couple of the Foot Locker Slam Dunk Fest, so, you know, I could do a little something.
All right, slam dunk. Let's see some 10s over there, okay, big guy?
If they can do maybe a 720, you know, then maybe we'll give them a 10.
All right, Mike, and we'll get to the dunk finals a little bit later on, but first, the 3-point shooting contest. On the boys' side, Daniel Gibson and Darius Washington Jr. advance to the finals. Gibson with 15 points in the first round, and Darius Washington, who will take part in the dunk finals a little bit later, will shoot first. And Tim McCormick, you did some math after the girls and boys. Both had first-round three-point shooting action.
Oh, Dave, I felt that the girls shoot better than the boys from three, and the numbers bear it out. The girls shot an average of 15.1 in their first-round scores. The boys only 10.4, and the biggest difference, the guys shoot jump shots, they get fatigued. I think that's a big factor.
Now, did you break out your abacus while you were adding that up?
Actually did it in my head.
Okay.
Remember, he went to Michigan.
Yes, Big Ten education.
Darius Washington told me this afternoon that he became a very good shooter. He went out in the backyard every day and shot 1,000 balls, 500 in the morning and 500 at night.
One of the high school games that was on ESPN earlier this year was Darius Washington's team taking on Sebastian Telfair's team, that from the campus of Fordham University. And Telfair's team was victorious, but Washington had a great night.
Yeah, and he's a shooting point guard, a guy that you may compare him to. How about DeJuan Wagner?
And speaking of Wagner, who went to Memphis, that's where Washington has committed to. Yet to sign, but is committed. And a terrific job by Washington in the three-point finals. It'll be a tall order for Daniel Gibson.
See, he just got hot in the middle of this round.
And that's what happens. Guys get streaky. They get into a feel-good zone, and he's clearly there.
21 points for Darius Washington Jr. Daniel Gibson will be up next, and he is off to Texas, signed with the Longhorns. He's been good friends with T.J. Ford since the 7th grade, when they used to play against each other in high school. During timeouts, sometimes Ford would give him some advice. That's because Ford kept beating his team by 20, 30 points every time they played.
Ford also had Daniel Ewing from Duke on his team, Ivan McFarland from Oklahoma State on his team, Kenny Taylor, who transferred from Baylor back to Texas here, on his team. So he could pretty much do what he wanted during the time.
Jesse Jones High School in Houston. Was a big North Carolina fan growing up, but was talked out of going to Carolina by two players in this game, Mike Williams and LaMarcus Aldridge, who are also going to Texas.
Yeah, he's just got a beautiful looking stroke. And just as Darius Washington is a shooting point guard, that's what Daniel Gibson will play when he takes on the burnt orange come next fall.
And it's nice to be a versatile player. He's having a little trouble keeping his trousers up. They keep falling down.
He's got a rhythm. Hold the trousers up, grab the ball, shoot. Hold the trousers up, grab the ball, and shoot.
Daniel actually was hoping to compete in the dunk contest, and he injured his ankle in the Texas State playoffs. So instead of winning that, he's got a great chance to win here.
Got 16 points.
Somebody should tell him that on the shorts, there's actually a drawstring where you can tie those rascals up.
The winner is Darius Washington. Gibson finishes with 18, 3 shy of Washington. Will have a chance to also win the slam dunk contest. Let's check in with Mike Gleason now. He's standing by with our three-point champs.
Thanks a lot, Dave. And I turn the spotlight over to Mike Lockyer, brand manager of Powerade.
Thanks very much, Darius. And today, on behalf of Powerade, Coca-Cola Company, and our bottling partners everywhere, we'd like to present you with the trophies for the 2004 Powerade All-American Jam Fest trophy for three-point contest.
Congratulations. Thank you. This is yours. Congratulations. Thank you.
All right, first of all, let's talk to the women's champion, Sharday Wiley-Gatewood. You were loose coming right out of the gate, weren't you?
Yeah, I was a little bit.
Yeah, you're a three-time LA Times Player of the Year. You're point guard. They may have to move you over to shooting guard.
No, I stay at the point guard. But I can also shoot as a guard, so.
All right, congratulations. Darius, congratulations. Well, Daniel put some heat on. Now you got the slam dunk contest coming up. You were really loose for the slam dunk contest. How do you feel going in right now?
I feel going in with the edge. You know, I'm pumped right now because I won a three-point contest. You know, so I'm looking forward to that. I got some tricks on my sleeve to show you guys.
All right, the 2004 three-point shooting champions. Their names on the list forever. Dave, back to you.
All right, Mike, and when we come back, our Powerade Jam Fest festivities continue with a team ball competition. That's next from Oklahoma City. Tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN, some of the best high school basketball players in the country, including Randolph Morris of Landmark Christian School in Atlanta, Sebastian Telfair of Abraham Lincoln High School in Brooklyn, and more, meeting the McDonald's High School All-American game. All part of a week of madness presented by Harley-Davidson on ESPN. We are back at Carl Albert High School, suburban Oklahoma City, Powerade Jam Fest. It's time for the team ball competition. And here are the rules. 1 minute time limit, one boy and girl per team. You must alternate shots. The top two advance to the finals. Take a look at our grid here. You get 8 points if you shoot a 3 from the corner or from the right side of the arc. And a layup is worth 2 points.
And Doug, what happens if you get fouled taking the 8-point shot?
Well, you get and one. You're at the line for 9. I mean, that's an announcer's dream, isn't it?
Sharday Houston and LaMarcus Aldridge will go first. They had 42 points to lead the way in the first round.
Now, I take issue a little bit with this game. They're playing with a ladies basketball, which is the intermediate size, much smaller, so it's a disadvantage to the fellas to shoot jump shots here.
This is a similar strategy that we've seen. They've had the choice to choose which ball they'd like.
Yeah, I disagree with you completely, Doug. I appreciate chivalry. It's not that the guys are being gentlemen using ladies' ball.
Except a lot of the ladies grew up playing with a men's basketball, trying to get stronger, trying to get more range in their shot.
You know, what we're seeing here is that in this event, teamwork is essential. The underrated part of the contest is the pass. You have to hit the shooter right in the hands.
I'll tell you what, LaMarcus Aldridge is a terrific shooter with that intermediate-sized basketball.
He's committed to Texas. A lot of people have compared him to Chris Bosh, another former Texas prep star, now with the Toronto Raptors.
A guy who he played against when he was just a young pup in high school, and some say dominated Chris Bosh as a youngster.
Interesting. A lot of people thought that LaMarcus Aldridge was strictly a post guy, but he's showing that his jump shot much improved.
57 points for LaMarcus Aldridge and Sharday Houston, who's off to Connecticut.
A couple winners here. Rondo, 38-0 at Oak Hill Academy. Larkins, twice missed basketball in Florida, 2 state titles.
Larkins earned a starting position on her high school team as a 7th grader, so she spent 6 years playing varsity basketball. She's a pretty good shooter, but she missed that 8-pointer. How do you like Rondo's chances if he ends up signing with Kentucky, guys, and taking over from Cliff Hawkins at point guard?
I think it'd be terrific for Kentucky to get an influx of talent, guys that can break down the defense, and that's one thing that Rondo does so well, getting into the lane, creating things for himself and for his teammates.
Yeah, and his coach at Oak Hill Academy, Steve Smith, said he's the best pure point guard he's coached since Rod Strickland.
And the great thing about playing at Oak Hill is it teaches you have so many weapons. It teaches you as a point guard to feed guys, keep them happy, and understand the whole team concept for scoring first as a point guard.
Yeah, and if you look at the numbers, he led the team in assists, which is really impressive. But as a secondary part of his game, he shot 68% from the field.
As a guard.
As a guard, as a point guard, as a lead guard.
So 40 points for Larkins and Rondo. And now it'll be up to DeMarcus Nelson and Tasha Humphrey. Aldridge and Houston with 57 points to lead the way in the team ball competition. Nelson all set to go to Duke. He is signed to play for Mike Krzyzewski. Played mostly point guard, but told me today that coaches at Duke said he may play some 2-guard as well.
If you're looking for a comparison, a lot of similarities to Duke's Daniel Ewing. Very talented, smooth, capable of making jump shots. The first round, Humphrey was very impressive.
I think that's the big question at Duke. What happens next year? Sean Livingston, some people think he'll go pro. If he does, who is the heir apparent at the point guard spot?
Humphrey all set to go to Georgia, 2-time Miss Basketball in that state.
Sean Docker, really hasn't shot the ball well, and he's been an excellent defender, but there hasn't been signs that he'll be a star as a point guard for the Blue Devils. So it'll be interesting to see what happens down in Cameron.
Well, it's very tough to replace Chris Duhon, who's been the toughest guy in the NCAA tournament so far. in the first round. Humphrey shot the ball so well.
That was a big 8-pointer right there.
Told me that as a young girl, she played with the boys. They were so much quicker, and so she had to rely on her perimeter shot.
That shot would have won it, but Nelson missed the 8-pointer. So LaMarcus Aldridge and Sharday Houston are the winners of the team ball competition. Let's check in with Mike Gleason, who's with LaMarcus and Sharday.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Once again, I turn it over to Mike Lockyer, brand manager for Powerade.
LaMarcus Sharday, congratulations on winning the 2004 Powerade Jam Fest team ball competition. You guys look great out there, like you've been playing together for a long time. Congratulations.
Sharday, what's toughest, the clock or get into the rhythm with that music going on?
It's just pretty much getting into the rhythm. I started off kind of off, but then I thought about the kids that were supporting, and it just made me want to go out there with the intensity and get the victory, so that's what kept me going.
LaMarcus, for a 7-footer, you like that outside shot, don't you?
Yes, sir, I do.
Rick Barnes going to let you pump it from out there?
I hope so, a little bit.
All right, Dave, there's your champions for 2004.
Thanks, Mike, and again, congratulations to LaMarcus Aldridge and Sharday Houston for winning the team ball competition. Up next, the finals of the slam dunk competition. J.R. Smith and Joe Crawford tied for the lead in the first round. Jam Fest Slam Dunk first round results. J.R. Smith and Joe Crawford tying for the lead. Darius Washington not far behind. Candace Parker right there as well. And Candace Parker will be our first dunker in the finals.
And she displaced somebody's pick.
Yeah, I picked Josh Smith. I'm wrong.
No.
I actually...
Big man. You're a much bigger man. I would never have said I was wrong.
But I did pick LeBron James last year.
It's going out on a limb.
Well, remember
Game was in Cleveland. He picks LeBron James.
Remember how you told Tim to wait until the shooter gets going to pick your winner?
Right.
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wait till after the dunk to pick away.
I still have J.R. Smith, the other Mr. Smith.
JR's real name is Earl.
I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with Ms. Parker. Okay?
Well, they do have a change in emphasis. Early, it is just the judge's interpretation of the dunk. As it goes on, style points are more important.
And you're allowed to get one miss per attempt. So she's got to get this one to go down here.
Candace actually has a special dunk. It's an alley-oop off the board. She says it's very risky, and she's only made it about 15 times in her life. Maybe she'll break it out, but I guess from that angle, we probably won't be seeing it.
If she goes off the backboard from that angle, I am leaving.
In the finals, you get 3 attempts. Barry Sanders, a tough judge. Most everybody else gave 9s. Barry gave an 8. That's pretty good.
I like that. In her family, her dad was a dunker. Her 2 brothers are dunkers. Candace obviously gets it done. The only non-dunker in her family is her mom, which is the same in my family.
Yes. Candace's dad played at Iowa. Parker's 3rd attempt. She hides her eyes.
Folded.
Pins around.
I like the chest bump. The best part about it is the excitement that both teams show standing up and cheering for her as she gets a partial standing ovation.
And usually dunk winners are innovators. You got Dr. J from the foul line. Cedric Ceballos did it blindfolded, just like Candace Parker.
More the D. Brown look with the cover the eyes. Remember, Ceballos brought the old blindfold out.
I see that. But D. Brown was more known for the pump up the Reebok.
He did pump up the Reebok.
The leader, Candace Parker, who is off to Tennessee, started dunking in high school games as a sophomore. The 3-point shooting champion, Darius Washington Jr., trying to win the slam dunk contest. He's going to have to knock off Candace Parker with a pretty impressive showing there in the finals, guys.
And the diversity of his attack is phenomenal. If you could make 3s, it sets up your attack at the rim.
Oh! How about that dunk by Washington?
Let's also not forget that he's been sitting there a while watching everybody else dunk. It's not like these guys are going through layup lines to get ready for their dunking.
Absolutely terrific.
How are those not all 10s? We saw some 9s there.
You know what you want to do, though, is you want to save the 10s for something really, and look at the reaction. They love it.
Hurting the rim.
That counts, and that was a good pass. He just blew that one.
Yeah, he blew his own assist.
Oh, he's going to try a dunk with his shorts pulled up. That's really old school.
This is from the Tim McCormick days.
That is not an attempt.
Those shorts are way too long to be from the Tim McCormick days, even then.
Oh,
no chance.
no, but the attempt was certainly deserving of applause anyway. At least he gave it a shot. Big Country's just thinking about the Final Four. That's all he's thinking about right now. One more chance for Washington. Barry agrees. So Candace Parker is your leader. 73 points for Darius Washington Jr. Currently in second place, Ms. Parker, headed to play for the Tennessee Lady Vols, is the leader in the finals of the Slam Dunk Contest. More dunks coming up from Oklahoma City. Coming up next, the Week of Madness presented by Harley-Davidson continues on ESPN with the 2004 McDonald's High School All-America game. Back in suburban Oklahoma City, Carl Albert High School, the Powerade Jam Fest, and we're in the dunk finals of 2004. Let's take a look back at the dunk finals from last year. Shannon Brown at Michigan State among the notables. J.R. Giddens, actually from Oklahoma, now at Kansas. And LeBron James stealing the show in his hometown of Cleveland. Amazing dunks by LeBron James. The dunk champ in 2003.
And 2 years ago, it was Carmelo Anthony. Last year, LeBron James. As you look at the standings, maybe a prelude to greatness.
J.R. Smith is next, signed with North Carolina. 150 points in the first round, a vertical leap again of 44 inches.
Howard Garfunkel said he shoots like J.J. Redick. Many people think he jumps like Vince Carter.
It's a good combination.
That's not a bad combination to have.
Think he has to come up with something special here to beat Parker?
Yeah, I do, and I wouldn't be surprised. You see, you've got to...
Oh, it almost went in.
That's a dunk right there that he said he's never tried. It was something that Kobe Bryant did in a commercial 2 years ago. And Candace is looking like she's in great position to do a little history here for us.
By the way, who predicted that? Just out of curiosity.
I guess you did. I don't actually remember hearing that prediction, but we'll go with it.
It's not counted as an attempt. He's still on his first attempt.
Didn't he tell you that he doesn't think about dunks until he jumps? Somebody said? Well, I think that was very evident on that dunk.
He may want to think about what he's going to do.
All right, so that does count because his hand hit the rim, and they do say that he attacked the basket, so 0 points in the first attempt. Here's attempt number 2. Again, you're allowed 1 miss per attempt. J.R. Smith looking a little bit dejected.
Well, he obviously has massive, massive talent and athletic ability. But the keys to winning contests, Tim McCormick, are
dunk and advance.
There you go.
Here comes Smith.
It's a nice finger roll, though.
Although it did go in.
See, there's the old school. That's what, you know, McCormick said, you know, these guys aren't really old school. There's the finger roll. That's old school basketball.
There's Candace Parker, the leader. Good way to close it out for Smith.
numbers that on the first 3 attempts. Take the surefire dunk. I'm agreeing with Mr. Tim McCormick. It's all about shot percentage. That is a high percentage dunk.
How about the legs flailing, a la MJ? Candace Parker sitting pretty right now. Crawford ready to go with his first attempt. Decided to go to Kentucky instead of Michigan. Good start for Joe Crawford. Couple of 10s, mostly 9s. Barry's starting to come around.
Watch how low he brings this ball down. Oh, at knee level, that's a great dunk.
It's a little Vince Carter elevation.
Now, does he also have the advantage because he's a guard?
He does. He does. Guards look better. The greatest big dunker that I ever saw was Larry Nance.
I think you should have just ended with your first sentence. Guards look better.
Oh, see, that's a bad decision right there.
You got one in the bag. Now make a second dunk. Then you win the championship. Then you be creative.
I agree. Remember, he studies his videos of Michael Jordan. And the greatest thing that Michael Jordan did as a dunker, he needs to dunk this and make it to stay eligible.
And he does with a pretty good dunk. A couple of 8s in there. Barry Sanders says 10 again. That's a great dunk.
You know, as we think about Michael Jordan, I think what's most amazing about him is that he didn't miss dunks in those competitions.
Never. Absolutely
He never DQ'd himself because he missed a dunk. That's what's amazing.
Crawford needs 76 points to knock off Candace Parker and win the 2004 Slam Dunk Championship. Any predictions here on what he's going to do, guys?
Well, he's definitely getting talked into it by the crowd. You have to go to a dunk that you've done before.
It has to be spectacular. Here he goes. Not an attempt.
See, that just looked like something he hadn't done before.
You got to give yourself a chance.
Yep.
You know, I think that Joe Crawford should get the crowd going and then jump as high as he can and dunk it as hard as he can and give himself a chance. If he throws up something he's never tried before, he's going to miss it and lose.
It's a miss. One more chance for Crawford. Candace Parker's behind Crawford there talking a little trash.
Wouldn't you? Get in his head. I think she's actually singing. You want to get right down.
Well, before she was talking trash. There it is, Candace Parker. After Crawford misses, wins the Slam Dunk 2004. We have history, ladies and gentlemen, here in Oklahoma City at the Slam Dunk Contest. Candace Parker, your winner.
And by winning the McDonald's All-American Dunk Contest, Candace Parker establishes herself as the greatest female dunker of all time.
What a statement.
Now, will she have a chance at a Rookie of the Year award next year in the NBA?
Candace Parker, who started dunking in high school games as a sophomore, wins the 2004 Slam Dunk Contest in Oklahoma City.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the Powerade Jam Fest is presented by Powerade.
Candace Parker wins the 2004 Slam Dunk Contest here in Midwest City, suburban Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Candace Parker standing by with Mike Leeson now.
Well, Dave, I'm here with the champion, also Mike Slocum, the Director of Customer Relationships for the Coca-Cola Company. Mike?
Candace, congratulations on being the first winner ever of the Powerade Jam Fest, the first woman winner. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
All right, Candace, how does it feel? You're the first woman.
feels great. I mean, I'm excited to be here at the McDonald's All-American Games.
Now, what juncture did you think you could win this thing?
I never really thought I could win it. I mean, I just entered it just to get a dunk down, and I'm still in shock right now.
But go back to the first round. You came out with a lot of swagger, a lot of confidence.
Well, you got to be confident in what you do to succeed.
All right, guys, there she is, the champion. She was the first junior in high school to win the Naismith as a Player of the Year. Now she's the first woman to win the slam dunk contest. Back to you.
Thanks, Mike. And again, congratulations to Candace Parker and all the winners at the 2004 Powerade Jam Fest. Up next, the McDonald's High School All-America Game here on ESPN. For Mike Gleason, Tim McCormick, and Doug Gottlieb, I'm Dave Pash. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. The McDonald's All-America Game coming up next on ESPN.